Hey all! Welcome to another one of my videos. This time, I really wanted to talk about my fashion blogger journey. I know I get a lot of questions, and I'm sure some of you probably know the whole story, but yeah, I thought it would be best explained in a video. Yeah, it's been a crazy ride. And a lot has changed, especially in the last 6 months for me. So I really wanted to talk about everything that's kind of gone down and basically how I got to this point where I work full time as a fashion blogger, and yeah, I get to do amazing things like traveling and working with some amazing brands, and yeah, I get a lot of great opportunities. So basically, I guess starting from the beginning, uh, yeah, I used to be a model. I used to work as a full-time fashion model. That was really great. I got to travel a lot with that, and I got to work with some really cool brands, and had a really good time. But towards the later part of my career, I kind of like had a bit too much free time because I was quite well established. Oh, there's a lot of traffic outside. Anyway, sorry about that. Yeah, so I had a lot of free time, and I decided I needed something else to do. And yeah, so I started my blog. A friend suggested that I started it because I was really interested in fashion. I just started basically documenting my outfits. I used to get dressed up to go to castings every day. So I would just take a picture of my outfit before I went to a casting and write about what I was up to. And I started to become part of this community by signing on to websites. I'm joining websites like Lookbook and Chictopia, and I started making friends, and it started to grow pretty well from there. I didn't actually even check my statistics. I didn't actually know you could monitor your statistics for about maybe 2 years, and I got started with just like a little point and shoot camera, and I wasn't interested in photography at all. Then, like, as I started to get more comments and started to be aware of like what was going on in the kind of fashion blog community, how people were really starting to have some success, I realized I needed to get a better camera. So I bought like an entry-level SLR, which is the kind of camera where you can use manual settings and change the lenses and that kind of thing. I just bought like the cheapest one I could get. And started really enjoying using that. I started editing my pictures, and then within about 6 months of using that camera, which I think is probably about the 2 or 3 year mark of blogging, I got my first jobs. I think one of the first jobs I did was I designed a collection of clogs for a brand in Sydney, and that was super cool. That was really fun. And then I started to get, the occasional sponsored post. I didn't really get to ask for very much money at that time because, people were really only getting used to the idea of paying any fashion bloggers. In fact, was really difficult to get brands to sort of see any value in paying a fashion blogger for their work. But about 3 years in, about 3 years in, and also I've been blogging for 6 years in total. So I started in, I think it was October 2008, nearly 7 years. I signed on to the Felt Network, which was a group, like a collective of bloggers. There's a lot of blogging networks out there. Probably Now Manifest is the biggest one that you might know of. And became part of this group of 8 girls. And from that point, all of us kind of started to get a lot more recognition for what we were doing. And a lot of us, we were able to do kind of campaigns together. And when I say you can get paid as a fashion blogger, what I'm talking about is mostly advertorials, which is kind of like magazines do them as well. You have your normal content, and then there'll be something that's paid or sponsored for by a brand, and that means that fortunately for us fashion bloggers, we get to create that content ourselves. But usually for magazines, that'll be kind of created by the brand for the magazine. But it's really similar to the way magazines do it. So yeah, we were getting kind of paid jobs from there, but still it wasn't really full time when I started on Felt. It was probably about a year into being on there, maybe a year and a half, that I really started to make enough money that I could survive solely on my blog. So up until all of this point, I was still working as a model, as a full-time model, which was it really was really helpful because it they were able to work really well hand in hand. You don't really have a specific schedule as a model, and I was able to just do whatever things I liked. And then, I guess it was probably like 2.5, 3 years ago that it really became my life and I was able to start traveling. Initially, I started traveling on a holiday. So I had saved up my money and I went traveling with my friend Jess, who has a blog called Tula Vintage. And we traveled around Europe together. And while I was there, I was able to work with some brands that were based in Europe. And that kind of got me known for being someone that was quite a lot more accessible to brands internationally as well as Australian brands. And that was something that really helped me grow in the international arena. And so from there, I started to have clients overseas, and I would either fly to them and try and do more work when I got there, or sometimes I would get flown. It's also around this time that I was able to go to international fashion weeks, which is really something that most bloggers will invest in and pay for themselves, because it's kind of something that's self-perpetuating. You need to be part of the industry, you need to be seen. So yeah, that's kind of what happened there. Now, more recently, obviously, if you guys are following my blog, you can see I've had a lot of success, and it's been so amazing. Being on the cover of Lucky magazine, and then also being part of the Fashion Bloggers television show has really increased my profile, and it's been unbelievable, and it's been a crazy ride, and it's because of all the people that have followed me up until this point that I've been able to do it all. So it feels like a miracle, and I love to do it so much. That's kind of a quick version of my fashion blogger story. I think a lot of girls have some kind of similar stories. A lot of girls have been a lot more calculated about how they get to where they are now. They kind of planned it. I didn't really plan becoming a professional fashion blogger. I will say, like, a lot of people ask me, like, oh, how do I become popular, and how do I make it with my blog? And I always thought that I was waiting for something to happen, waiting for something to give me the success that was going to make me big, because it took a little while. And I realized that even if I was to be featured in something really amazing, that success is only short-lived, because you need to be working on good content all the time and having people come back and back and back to your blog every week. So unfortunately, there's no real secret, and there's no kind of overnight success story that can be told alongside my story, because it's about learning and persevering and just working towards making better and better content. I wish I could say there was some kind of secret to becoming popular, but it's really about writing good content and being genuine in your content, improving your content, and enjoying yourself, putting out good vibes. It's been awesome. And I'm really glad to share it all with all of you, and I feel really lucky. So I hope I was able to teach you guys something, or give you something a little more about where I am today. Thank you so much. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, because I'm starting to do more videos, and hopefully they're going to get better and better. Bye.